Every now and then I get something right. If you remember last year, I told you about the fifth or sixth game of the season. There's this kid, Noah Fifita, you're going to want to keep a real close eye on. And so far, so good with Noah Fifita.
What is he, like 11-1 as a starter? Yeah, I'd say that was a pretty good take on your part. No, you did say that. And you said, hey, from a national perspective, these two kids have been friends forever. High school teammates, like you should get them on your show before they blow up. Next thing you know, I'm doing Fox Sports Radio on a Saturday night. They nearly beat USC at the Coliseum. Should have beat them, by the way. By the way, was Washington the game before or the game after? I can't remember.
It was the game before. That was his first career start. Yes.
And I remember watching that USC game like, oh, they're pretty close. And by the way, that was when USC we thought was still good. And then obviously, and then from there, it was just like, boom, it was like dynamite. It was awesome to watch. It was awesome to see. And by the way, I think everybody saw last Saturday why everybody was trying so hard to get McMillan and Fifita in the portal after, obviously, we know what happened, last January. So credit to Arizona for retaining those guys. And you guys got a fun team, man, to watch. I'll tell you that.
We're going to talk a lot about that. And like I said, we'll get to some basketball as well. Yes, Aaron Torres is greater than Jeff Goodman. We would very much agree on this.
But Jeff Goodman's an Arizona guy. You got to support him.
Controls the Arizona fan base the entire time. All right. Now, let me ask you this. This is a very, because at Arizona football, it's something that, we don't generally have we don't have an assembly line of top flight talent that generally comes through here. I don't care what anybody says. Tetairoa McMillan is the best wide receiver in the country. I don't even believe that it's close. You look at I know a lot of people like Luther Burden, but Luther Burden, when he plays against good teams, catches for 16 yards. Tetairoa McMillan last year, 1,400 yards, 12 touchdowns, off to a 300 plus yard game. What is the national perception of T-Mac, and how much does it is the lack of hype maybe because he's at Arizona?
Well, I think the national perception maybe changed last weekend because, it was a pseudo standalone game. Now, there was some game going on the Big Ten Network in Seattle. I forget who was even playing in that one. Yeah, it was rainy. I think it smelled too. You could see the stink lines on the TV screen. But anyway, it was a national, game. There was no other game that I'm aware of really on in that time slot. And, even our update guy on Fox Sports Radio is not a huge college football guy. He knows the name, but it's like, oh, this McMillan kid, another touchdown, keeping you updated in Tucson. He just went for his third touchdown, 72 yards, blah, 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 whatever. And so, listen, I don't know how you can't be a college. I don't know. I'm going to use a triple negative here. If you're a college football fan and you didn't know the name before Saturday, you probably should have, but I don't think there's any way that you didn't. Standalone game. It was a fun game. By the way, they needed him to make plays. The defense, obviously, I know you and Sheer and everybody have been talking about all week, but the defense didn't live up to its end of the bargain. So it's not like you won 63-7 and he was out middle of the second quarter. I mean, that was a game where you needed him late. He got the national acclaim. I saw Pat McAfee shouting him out, all that stuff. And so, again, if people weren't familiar, I do believe that that probably changed pretty significantly on Saturday night.
I think you're definitely going to see that change. Now, let me ask you this then. Just looking around. Oh, by the way, you want to hear something crazy? Mason Graham, probably the best defensive player in all of college football.
For the name, yes.
Yeah, all right, from Michigan. Yeah, he was teammates with T-Mac and Noah Fifita at Servite High School.
Wow.
Jed Fish decided not to recruit him, though, so that was an interesting one.
We all silly like the mayor.